You girls home for dinner tonight?
After work, yeah.
Yeah, because Mum's cooking dinner tonight.
How come I'm cooking dinner?
For Julie Randall and her family, the simple things are the most precious. Every moment with husband Scott and daughters Morgan and Remy is cherished. Every day, a testament to her incredible will to survive.
She shouldn't be here today, should she, Scott?
No, that's right, she shouldn't be. Yeah, if it wasn't for her tenacity and will to live.
Inability to accept no as an answer.
Yeah, and a promise that she made to her kids.
That promise was made in Julie's darkest hour.
You told them that you weren't going to die.
I promised them I was going to make it.
A vow that would take her to the frontier of medicine and halfway around the world in search of a miracle.
She said, I've got cancer, Morgs, and then she kept saying, I'm so sorry, but I'm going to fix it, but I'm going to fix it. She said that a lot. I'm going to fix it, I'm going to fix it, like over and over again.
They needed their mum, bottom line. I just could not contemplate them having to watch me die. I couldn't. I wouldn't.
In June 2012, Julie was feeling as fit and healthy as she'd ever been. But 4 days after celebrating her 50th birthday, while at work, she suffered a massive brain seizure.
I just felt the weirdest feeling in my head that I'd ever felt in my life. And within seconds, I remember thinking, you're in trouble. When I woke up, paramedics were calling out my name, you know, Julie, 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 and I just felt sick and I was scared. I knew something major had just happened to me.
Julie's idyllic life on Sydney's northern beaches was about to be shattered. Tests revealed cancer was not only in her brain, it had invaded her entire body. It was the worst prognosis imaginable. Julie was going to die, and soon.
She sat down, she said, you have stage 4 metastatic melanoma. There's no cure for what you've got. Straight out like that.
You had advanced melanoma and it had spread.
Yeah. It was my brain, liver, lung, pancreas, lymph nodes. Yeah.
You were handed a death sentence.
Yeah.
It's her worst nightmare. In a room with no windows. Just think, God.
I got up and just walked across to she had a basin in the corner. And I was dry retching, and I was just saying, my babies, my babies. That's all I could say.
Look, to be frank, melanoma is a terrible, cruel beast. It's very hard to sit in front of someone and say, you've got a terminal condition and there's not much in the toolkit. I'm really sorry.
That's about 3.5 centimetres there. And then we've got another lump of melanoma here. And then
It was Professor Georgina Long from Melanoma Institute Australia who broke the devastating news.
So both lungs?
Yes, yeah. And then we'll go back up through her liver and you can start to see these lumps of melanoma here. And you can see in the pancreas, see that's a pancreas there, another one there.
There was virtually no hope she could offer Julie.
So it's fair to say in 2012 she was riddled with cancer.
Yes.
Overwhelmingly, it's a hard nut to crack at that stage.
Julie's only choice was to have the brain tumour removed.
That's pretty confronting.
That I was sort of quite impressed with how neat and tidy the staples were.
And to start a punishing course of chemotherapy for the other tumours. But chemo would only keep her alive for a matter of months at best.
I wasn't scared of dying. That part didn't scare me. What scared me was the carnage that I would leave behind.
Julie was desperate for a lifeline. But it soon became clear there were no other treatment options in Australia in the limited time she had.
So you jumped online.
Yep.
You did all the research yourselves. And you found what?
We found a clinical trial in Portland, Oregon, in the US. We didn't even know where that was. It was a drug to kick your immune system back into action and fight the cancer. It made a lot of sense to us, so we just got on the phone to America, I think that very day, and we started our campaign.
It was Portland or die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The trial was testing an experimental immunotherapy drug on hopeless cases like Julie's, but it was out of reach. Only open to US citizens and already at full capacity, there was no chance of a patient from overseas being accepted.
The more Scott and I talk about immunotherapy in the clinical trial, the more we are sure this is where we need to be.
That only made Julie more determined.
I think we wrote to them for 3 months. I do not have much time before the chemo will turn its back on me. And we kept getting rejection after rejection.
There would be a lot of red tape and complications for you to take part.
You know you have a drug that can help me.
So you were a real pain in their backside.
We were serial
Yep.
pests, yeah. We will do whatever it takes to get to Portland.
I'm sorry to say, Julie, but the trial is now at full capacity.
She did have those moments where she would say to Dad, what if I don't get into the trial? What if I do die? And he would say, it's not an option.
Hi Daniel, it's Scott Randall here, mate.
If she didn't have him backing her up the whole way, like, it might not have happened. It was a team effort.
Yeah.
Julie's my wife and my world, and it eats away at me from the inside out to see her suffering like this, knowing what the future holds if she doesn't find a better way to treat her condition.
Keep me close to your chest. You are the more to
After 3 months of badgering them with emails and countless phone calls, out of the blue, they said yes.
To this day, I can't believe that they finally just said, come over. You know, I just got a phone call one day and they said, what day do you want your appointment? It felt like we'd won the lottery.
In a trial for 70, Julie Randall was about to become patient 71.
You've never been so happy to just be a number.
Never been so happy, yep. I think a lot of people thought that I was grabbing at straws, that I was going to be a lab rat. You know, I used to say, well, I'd rather be a lab rat than a dead rat.
Coming up, the gamble of her life.
Was it guaranteed that if she came here to the States that she would get better?
Well, absolutely not.
The moment Julie finds out
You can do it.
if she kept her promise.
You've done it before. Just deep breathing, okay?
That's next on 60 Minutes. With her husband Scott, Julie Randall is 12,000 kilometres away from home in Portland, Oregon. Keeping a promise to her daughters that she would beat incurable cancer. After pleading for her life, she's been accepted into a clinical trial that is her only chance of survival.
This place was the answer to my prayers.
Was it guaranteed that if she came here to the States that she would get better?
Well, absolutely not. Hey, how are you?
Julie's fate would be in the hands of this man, leading oncologist Dr. Walter Erber, a pioneer in the field of immunotherapy.
So there was good reason to expect that she could benefit, but even under the best circumstances, we're talking about a 30 or 40% response rate. So more than half eventually die of the disease despite the treatment.
So it was a real roll of the dice for Julie. She could have died over here.
Without a doubt.
So this is really the front line, isn't it?
It is. This is where everybody has their treatment.
Does it bring back memories being here?
Yeah, it does. It brings back nervous memories.
Had Julie stayed in Australia, she was certain to die. Here, she had a chance, thanks to fortnightly infusions of the immunotherapy drug nivolumab.
It's not like a chemotherapy drug, which is a toxin. The drugs we use work indirectly by activating the immune system in the patient's body, and it's their immune system that goes out and searches and destroys cancer cells.
Here was my chair, and they had a big sign that said reserved for research.
The odds were still against her. This experimental drug doesn't work at all for 60% of patients.
6 weeks into the trial, you had your first scan.
Yeah.
I mean, this was the moment. All your hopes were pinned on this.
Yeah.
And?
Well, Scott took the phone call from Dr. Abo, and he handed the phone to me. He stuck his thumb up. That I had responded to the treatment. He just went, couldn't even speak. And he said, you've responded and you just have to keep going. You have to keep going with this treatment.
Amy, how are you?
Good, how are you?
You look so great.
Thank you.
The feisty Aussie, who begged and harassed her way onto the trial, quickly became a favourite of the medical team.
Hey, sweetie. Oh, so good to see you.
But while the early signs were good, no one knew if the drug would continue working. Julie committed to staying here in Portland for the duration of the trial, which was 2 years. But after 6 months, she was desperate to get home to her girls. So she came up with a plan to convince the pharmaceutical company to provide her with the life-saving drugs in Sydney, free of charge. It seems they too couldn't say no to Julie's persuasive powers.
I really didn't know for sure, that it wasn't going to go pear-shaped. And so I wanted to be back with my girls.
Some sausage, some chicken.
Much like she risked it all by heading to the US,
Mummy?
Julie took a huge gamble leaving the trial.
Thank you.
But it was worth it to be home with her family.
The only moment is now.
And so far, it's paid off. She's still having regular doses of nivolumab.
Hi, patient.
Hello. Glad you could join me.
What's happening here?
Well, this is my monthly dose of reassurance, right there.
This is your insurance policy.
It pretty much is, yeah.
Julie's tumours have been shrinking slowly and steadily. And today, 5 years since being told she had just 9 months to live, Julie will find out whether the cancer has been defeated.
Are you okay?
I don't think so.
Her greatest fear
Try to just breathe through it.
is that the drugs have stopped working and the cancer has spread.
You can do it.
Not surprisingly, it's overwhelming.
Do you want us to sit down? What's going to help?
I don't know.
You've done it before. Just deep breathing, okay?
See you in about 25 minutes, okay? We'll give you those updates.
For patient 71, this is a milestone moment.
This is it. This is it. If I'm clear now, I'm clear forever.
Hey, Julie. Hi, Scott. Good to see you guys. So I think I'll get straight to it.
After an anxious wait, Professor Georgina Long has the results of the scan back.
You've had what we call a complete metabolic response, which is absolutely wonderful.
Julie is cancer-free.
So, great news.
That's fantastic. Yeah. Was it champagne?
Yeah.
Champagne moment. Yep.
Incredible resilience. Incredible resilience.
Yeah, she's pretty good.
Thank you. Julie. Thank you. Yeah.
Immunotherapy is a complete game changer. It is a penicillin moment for cancer therapy. And that's because it was a desert and we had nothing and we were working so hard to find something, and immunotherapy offered a novel way to think about cancer.
How fast is this field of medicine moving?
Incredibly fast. My clinics in 2009, they were pretty dismal. They weren't full of people because people would die. It was horrible. And that just changed dramatically. My clinics are now full of survivors, truly, survivors, people who are now 4.5, 5 years down the track who've had fantastic responses.
Come on. For a woman who wasn't meant to survive,
Give it out, that's it.
That's out.
timing is everything. She was lucky to catch the first wave of a revolution in cancer treatment.
What do you owe Dr. Erber and his team?
My life. We owe him my life. I call him my second favourite man in the world.
Blushing, doll.
He's just an amazing man, an amazing doctor. And the minute I met him, I felt he's the man.
To see that it worked out so well for her and her family, it brings great relief to all of us and makes you very proud of what you do.
She became patient 71.
She became patient 71, and we'll all remember that forever.
These are the days we've been waiting for. On days like these, who could ask for more?
Julie's is as much a love story as it is a medical one.
What are you cooking tonight, Julie?
Chicken roll up.
Chicken roll up?
Yeah. I buy a chicken, you roll up and eat it.
Without the support of her family, she might not have found the will to seek the miracle she so badly needed.
What got you through, Julie?
These two. And Scott, he just made me believe I was gonna stay alive. It's over now.
I don't know.
It's really only recently that I know 100% that I've done this, and it's just the best feeling ever that I really have kept that promise.
Do you ever worry that it'll come back, the cancer?
Not now. No, I don't. I'm cured. Full stop.
God, that must sound good to say.
It does. It does. The C word, the good one.
Hello, I'm Allison Langdon. Thanks for watching. To keep up with the latest from 60 Minutes Australia, make sure you subscribe to our channel. You can also download the 9Now app for full episodes and other exclusive 60 Minutes content.